Meeting is called to order. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Chair, can we get a roll call, please?
Camilo Quindor,
Present.
Member Russell Alexander,
Present.
Philip Lantry,
Present.
Nanette Douglas,
Present.
Dawn Grigsby, she has an excused absence today. Dawn Streeter,
Present.
Daisy Snyder,
Present.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum, and Ms. Streeter, as the first alternate, will be a voting member this evening on the matters. But obviously, you're all, just so you know, as alternates, full participation. Just the only thing you abstain from is the voting, unless you are being included for tonight's purposes with the absence of a member. So, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Board meeting is called to order. Has anybody read the minutes from the last meeting? And do I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Nobody opposed? Passes. The
Passes
minutes.
5-0, yes, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, we do tonight have on the business of voting for a vice chair with Ms. Carney's departure. So that's the next agenda item for you to call for motion.
The first one?
Yes, sir,
Okay.
for vice chair
Okay, we'll be calling now for
nomination.
a nomination for vice chair for Mrs. Carney's spot. Does anybody have a motion who would like to either be
Make a motion for the vice
the
chair.
motion for the vice chair, or have a motion for somebody that would like you would like to nominate?
Can I nominate Bill Lantry?
Yeah?
We got a first for Mr. Lantry. Do we have any other nominations?
You call for a second on the nomination.
Do I have a second for Mr. Phil Lantry?
I'll second it.
First, second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Congratulations,
5-0,
Mr. Lantry.
Mr. Lantry, vice chair, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Very good, sir.
Okay, first order of business, new business. Ordinance number 2024-26, CPA 23-00017.
Hello, good evening, Commissioners. Francine. Can you read the second item as well? They're related.
They're related, so we're
Yes.
listening to both of them together and voting
Yes.
separately.
I would like to do
Okay.
the presentation for both items together.
Okay, the second ordinance is ordinance number 2024-27, PUD 23-00008.
All right, good afternoon or good evening. Francine Sutton, Community Development, presenting before you this evening a comprehensive plan amendment for Vista Grand on 14.37 acres and a PUD rezoning request with a preliminary master plan for a property that's located north of Hickory Tree Road, south of Nolte Road, west of Hickory Tree Road, and east of Old Hickory Tree Road. And the applicant's request is approval of ordinances 2024-26 and approval of 2024-27, and staff also recommends approval. Just background on this item, this property was annexed via ordinance 2023-30 in June of 2023, and the applicant is requesting low-density residential future land use, which is consistent with the comprehensive plan. And as I mentioned previously, the total acreage is 14.37 acres. So in the county, the property had low-density residential future land use, and what they're requesting is low-density residential future land use. And the difference between the city and the county's low-density residential future land use is that the county allows a maximum density of 3, a minimum of 3, maximum of 8 dwelling units per acre, and the city's future land use of low-density residential, future land use allows a maximum of 4 dwelling units per acre. So in the county, the property had agricultural development and conservation zoning with R2, which is rural development zoning in the county. So the applicant is proposing a planned unit development zoning for this property. So the total net developable acres for this property is 14.10 acres, which if he were to develop in the county at the maximum density, that would give him a maximum density of 113 dwelling units just for context. But in the city, he's proposing low-density residential with planned unit development zoning, which with low-density residential in the city, it only allows a maximum of 4 dwelling units per acre. Therefore, he could get no more than 56 dwelling units per acre. So the gross density for this project is 3.93 dwelling units per acre, and he's only proposing 54 units on this property. And as you can see before you, this is the future land use map for the area. So to the west of this property, that's a current existing Gramercy Farms development that has medium density residential. And then the zoning map, which shows the current property to the west, you'll see that there's existing plant unit development zoning in the area. I'm sorry, I misspoke there. I missed the density is 3.83 dwellings per acre. But with this PUD, the zoning details for this item, they're proposing single-family detached front-loaded and rear-loaded product types with lot widths varying from 40 feet wide to 55 in width, which is consistent with the area since Gramercy Park has various lot widths in their development. And to the south of this development, I believe it's called Hickory Estates, that has varying lot widths that is similar in character with what the applicant is requesting this evening. And then, as mentioned previously, the density that the applicant is requesting is in line with the low-density residential future land use. So just a brief description of the project, the applicant is proposing developing this in a single phase, and there will be an active recreation area which will be provided in more detail at their subdivision plan level. And then with this development, they'll have a pedestrian path around the stormwater pond, and there'll be a landscape buffering to the south and to the east of the property. So to the south, the landscape buffer is 15 feet, and then to the east, there's also a 15-foot landscape buffer. And to the east of the development, there's access stub outs for future development if the property that's currently in the county decides to develop in the future. There's provision for future connections there. And on this slide, this is the proposed layout for Vista Grand, which is 54 single-family dwelling units. And as you can see to the east, that's just image of the existing development, Gramercy Farms, that's to the west. And you can see that the product that the applicant is proposing is in line with the character of this area. And DRC staff reviewed this item at the March 7th DRC meeting, and for the PUD preliminary master plan, and for the comprehensive plan amendment to low density residential, staff is recommending approval of ordinance 2024-26 and approval of ordinance number 2024-27. And the requested action for this evening for first, the CPA, is approval of ordinance number 2024-26 and approval for the PUD rezone and the preliminary master plan. Staff is recommends that the requested action be approval of ordinance number 2024-27. And staff is available for questions, and the applicant is available for questions as well.
I have an initial question.
Yes.
It does say that the notice of public hearing was mailed to property owners within 500 feet, but it also says one phone call was received at the time of the staff report's distribution.
Yes.
Could you elaborate on that? Was this somebody
Yes.
that
So
was
at the
concerned
time-
about it, or?
Yes. So at the time that the staff report was written, there was only one phone call that was received at the time. So pretty much that's saying that although when I distributed the staff report for planning commission, there was only one phone call, that's just letting you know that at the time of planning commission, there could be others in the audience tonight that may speak to this item.
I see. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for the city? Would the applicant like to come up and speak?
Good evening. John Adams, R.J. Whitten and Associates, 8 Broadway, Kissimmee, Florida, 34741. We're the planners for the project. We're in agreement with staff's recommendation for approval for the CPA and for the PUD zoning. I'm here to answer any questions you guys may have.
Thank you.
Do we have any questions for the applicant? Thank you, sir. If we have no questions for the applicant, we will open for the public comment. Anybody from the public? Mr. Diaz and Jennifer Fernandez wanted to speak? State your name and address for the record, please.
Ezekiel Diaz, and the address is 4573 Baylor Trails.
Sir, I'm sorry, the microphones are not working on the dais or at the podium. You are being recorded, but if everyone will hear in the chambers will speak, you know, loudly, be captured. Thank you very much. If you could start over, sir.
All right, Ezekiel Diaz, and I reside at 4573 Baylor Trails in Gramercy. And my question is for, I guess, the applicant. Is there any plan for the structure of the roads as it is?
Sir? And I appreciate your if you direct your comment to the commission will absorb your comments, and then we'll allow the applicant to respond to the commission. Thank
Yeah,
you.
we're just concerned about the amount of traffic flow exiting Gramercy as it is with the development already as there is on Old Hickory Tree. There's a subdivision being put up right now, and every day it's, traffic is kind of at a stop at certain times because there's only one lane that,
Yeah. The exit, so we lived in Gramercy Farm, just across where there's this gonna be built, and it's a two-way road. So all of us are exiting through there with, going to school, going to work. So our main concern is if we're gonna have another small development right next to us, what's the plan of having, the road gonna be expanded a little bit? Like, it's just, the fact that they're gonna be right
Impact.
next to us, this is gonna be more traffic. There's already enough traffic. So that's our concern. What's the plan?
Okay,
Thank you.
we'll bring it up to the,
Do we stay here or we sit?
no, you can sit down. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Okay, I will close it for public comments, and you're allowed to answer the comment.
As far as the traffic concern, this project fronts Old Hickory Tree Road. That is a county framework road in the transportation network. We've actually left 14 additional feet for the widening of that road. When that road gets widened, I don't know. I can have that answer before the county's intent before the city council hearing. As far as transportation, also on the county's transportation network map, there's another framework road that's off-site of here directly north. There's also a 30-foot utility easement that runs along that road. So there are roads planned. When they're to be developed, I do not know that yet, but I'll have that answer before city council.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask a question, Ms. Sutton? Ms. Sutton, do you know when these matters will come before city council? Do you know the next council meeting when this will be addressed?
It's scheduled for the April 25th city council meeting.
Thursday, April 25th?
Yes, and in response, you mind if I, in response to the citizens' concerns, just looking on the county's website, which is Osceola Roads, the county is currently conducting a PD&E study for Hickory Tree Road. And right now, it states that the project has not been funded, but if the citizens have concerns, I can provide them with the contact information for the project manager with the county.
May I ask a question? There's only one way in and out of this development?
From the, so just for context, once I've shown the area, the primary point of access is from Hickory Tree Road.
And there's no other options, so that they can help.
Well, I did see in the preliminary master plan, right? It's preliminary, so it's just kind of a conceptual at this point in time. But I did see outlets or inlets, if you will, on the north, east, and south. So I guess to elaborate on her question or to add to it, is there any anticipation that these would lead to a further development, or is this just kind of trying to keep some interconnectivity if there were some future development to happen on any of those sides of this?
So per code, we're required to stub out for the interconnectivity. Right now, yes, there is only one entrance on Hickory Tree Road, Old Hickory Tree Road. With it being a framework road, there's access management. You can have accesses only so much distance. So I don't know that we'd even be permitted to get two accesses. The first access point allows up to 100 units. So we're a little bit more than half of that before we would be required by code to have a second access. But we have provided a stub out to the north, east, and to the south, should future development happen, and when future development happens, to have that interconnectivity to the future framework to the north and to get further to the east over to Hickory Tree Road.
So you said that you don't know if you would be allowed to have a second access. Is there a way you can find out just to see what your options are?
I can, I can tell you it's not gonna work, but I can talk to an engineer. I know it won't work just because that future framework road alignment to our north, there's gonna be a separation criteria that it's gotta be a certain distance to the south, and that's why we're right in the middle where we're at. So we wouldn't be able to go any further north, and we're not gonna be able to get another one further to the south where there's actually a lift station being shown.
Yeah, I trust your judgment. I just like to have, you know, a definite
I understand.
no or definite yes.
Where is the current, I assume you know this area well, so I'm just going to ask you rather than the city staff. If you don't know the answer, they can always answer. But where is the current entrance to Gramercy Farms? Is that to the north?
It's further to the south of here. It's about 200 feet from the south property line. There's that intersection.
There used to be there's a hard turn there back in the old days, and then it's right there where that is.
Yeah, it comes to a stop sign down there now.
So where it says 10-foot minimum buffer, is that just like a kind of a cul-de-sac turnaround currently? It's in the upper left.
The 10-foot minimum buffer,
Yeah, where that note is actually located. Is that, do you know if that's a cul-de-sac or turnaround that doesn't connect to Hickory Tree?
no, that does not connect to Hickory Tree. That's going to be where there's 14 feet there for the future right-of-way, and then there's a 10-foot buffer from that future right-of-way. So right now, there'd be 24 feet from the existing property line. And then that road continues to the north, where there'll be an additional framework road on the county's transportation network.
So your entrance is right down on the bottom, right there in the middle.
The white road on the left side, if you're looking at it running north and south, right in the middle, there's a little island. That's the entrance right there.
And you said that 14 feet is the potential that there could be another lane in the future?
There will be, I just don't know the time frame. It's, as she put it, it's in a PD&E study right now, so it's not
Okay.
been funded yet. But that was a request for the 14 feet from the county's transportation department and St. Cloud's transportation department.
Okay.
So the right-of-way is there to widen.
Any other questions for the applicant?
I do have one more, actually. Going over, I guess it's, number 9, it says the proposed change will create a drainage problem. And of course, they said they're gonna be looking into it. If there is a drainage problem, who takes care of that?
It's required by code to not affect or increase any off-site drainage. You can maintain existing flow off-site, but all drainage from the impervious area created on the site must stay on site. And that'll be done at a later plan, at the site development plan, that'll be again reviewed by city staff, and that has to be permitted by South Florida Water Management.
Any other questions? There's no other questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can speak amongst yourself if you like for a second.
Are you closing the public?
Closing public comments. If there's no questions amongst yourselves, can I get a motion?
Remember, commission members, take the cases one at a time when announcing your motion, so we have a clear record. Thank you.
Could we get a motion for ordinance number 2024-26 first?
I would like to make a motion to recommend approval of ordinance number 2024-26 based on the 16 findings within the Land Development Code.
I'll second.
I have a first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, passes.
5-0.
5-0, sir. Okay, now we will take a motion on ordinance number 2024-27, the PUD. Do I have a motion?
I would like to make a motion to recommend approval of ordinance number 2024-27 based on the 16 findings within the Land Development Code.
I have a first motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Passes 5-0, sir.
That's a 5-0, okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
And
Thank
this will
you.
be heard again before City Council, April the 25th. Thank you, sir, ma'am. It'll be here in chambers on April 25th, yes.
But we will get a notice, right?
Any other business between amongst us?
Receive a notice.
When will be the next meeting, ma'am?
Next meeting will be held on April 16th at 6 p.m.
So the final public hearing.
Okay, April 16th, 6 p.m. You have a motion for adjournal?
Adjournment?
Adjourning?
So moved.
I have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Pass. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.